So, if I just self-criticize hard enough and use the whip oftentimes on my mind, it will surely learn its lesson and not just learn to fear the whip that I apply, right? I can just punish myself into submission and then I will improve, right? It will surely work that way, right? It is not uncommon that people try to use negative emotions like self-hate or rage to fuel themselves. People in the gym, for example, often hype themselves up by artificially creating feelings of rage or things like that. And emotional people often do very similar things by using self-hatred as a fuel for improvement. Today, we will analyze why such things might work in the very near term, but are a recipe for disaster and stagnation in the long run. Well, with the lifting example, there are a few problems. First, it isn't too nice when you can only call upon your peak performance in an emotionally agitated state, because those obviously leave an aftermath. Second, the resulting adrenaline and other stress hormones aren't too healthy and increase your risk of injury tremendously. And third, there is a diminishing return, and you can only dampen down your emotions over time. And lastly, you cannot trick your mind forever, and you can only call upon such, rage before your monkey brain realizes what it does. You cannot trick your mind forever. And with self-hate and self-improvement, it is even more obvious. Imagine a person who wants to lose weight because they hate what they see in the mirror. The very process of improving robs you of your fuel in that case. The more you improve, the more you chip away at the self-hatred that you use as your very drive. The very process is flawed from the beginning and doomed to fail. At some point your fuel runs out because you improved too much, and instead of just continuing, most people are now habituated to just use the self-hatred, which is gone by now. And now they are aimless and wander on without making any additional progress until it is bad enough, and so they continue running in cycles over and over. It is pretty much impossible to reach your goal that way. As soon as you come close, the quality that you used to instigate your self-hate has almost vanished, and with it the drive. It is always much better to rely on positive reinforcement as a driving force, as that has the potential to last forever. The better you become, the more positive reinforcement. It just self-amplifies. There is no such thing as running out fuel or something like that. Negative reinforcement or punishment is always limited on the other hand. Your mind is a device that tries to avoid all suffering, and self-hatred induces suffering, so the mind tries to avoid the self-hatred. It is very, very simple. Okay, but let us now come to the most important points. Many people try to use negative emotions as fuel to improve, as it feels easier at first. Negativity is a stronger impulse than positivity. People fear the whip 7 times as much as they like a reward, for example. And the human mind always tries to avoid suffering, and self-hatred is itself suffering. Thus, the mind tries to avoid it. Thus, any progress fueled by negativity will always stop at some point, either because you rob yourself of the source of fuel, the self-hatred, or because your mind will try to avoid the suffering, the very mechanism that you try to use to keep yourself going. And if you want to make permanent changes, always aim for positive reinforcement. Anything else is temporary at best and usually causes more harm than good in the long run. Okay, and that is pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, maybe leave it a thumbs up so I know to produce more of this style of content in the future. Also, maybe consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you feel like I missed something, however, also let me know in the comment section so that other people, and especially I, can benefit from your wisdom. Until then, I wish you a pleasant day and goodbye.